Hello everybody and welcome to ReZero Season 2 Episode 5 Anime Review. Boy, it didn't take long for Subaru to get back on his dying... I know he died in Episode 1, but that doesn't count really. But no, we're back. How he died though, that was a surprise. I forgot she existed. So, does that say more about me? It probably says more about me. But that was a big old, oh crap, it's you kind of moment. So, yeah, that happened. Other stuff going on. What's the deal with Beatrice? It was brought up again. Roswell is a genius asshole. He's a cruel genius. That's how I'll call him. And other stuff going on too. There's just so many not even layers, just a lot of stuff happening is how I describe it. Anyway, let's get into the episode, see how it all went down and everything. Let's do this. We begin with Subaru, voice of the people, as he points out how good Echidna looks in that school uniform. As I said, voice of the people, he's 100% correct. Why is Echidna the best? Like, she just is the best, isn't she? Like, no, she is. I'm trying to think of a negative thing. Being dead, that's a pretty bad thing, but hey. Doesn't look dead to me, is all I'm saying. Haha, yeah, that's a bit weird. Anyway, so she watched the whole thing of, the whole last episode. She was basically watching last episode with us. And, yeah, she enjoyed it. She was like, it almost brought a tear to my eye. And Subaru's all embarrassed, like, no. Like, I can do it, but I can't do it with people watching. It's like trying to pee in front of a load of people. It's like, I promise it functions, but not when there's people watching. That's probably the worst analogy anyone's ever made. Then she explains, basically, this world is made from your memories and everything, including parts you don't even know about, basically. It's like more subconscious thoughts, while not Subaru thinking, like, that tree over there is cool. Subaru subconsciously thought. Words are hard, guys. Subconsciously thought, man, that tree was cool. That kind of thing. And then he says, don't underestimate my parents. They're way bigger than my tiny brain. And it's like, oh, good guy, Subaru. And then she basically explains the rules. She's like, there are 3 trials, you've completed 1. So, that's good, I guess, Subaru, good job. And then he thanks her. He's like, thank you for, even though nothing's real, you let me say what I needed to say. Thank you, old Echidna. And then basically, she's like, you're scary. You frighten me with how, like, weird you are, basically. And it's like, no, Echidna, you're the best. Subaru's the best. Everyone's the best. I thought Echidna was going to be the villain, but I'm not getting any kind of villain vibes from her. She's just a nice person. Hope they revive her somehow. Don't know how they'd do that, but have her be a good guy. That's what I want. But then he says, sorry to disappoint you, I'm not the one that's going to free Sanctuary. And I'm just sitting there like, Subaru, yeah, about that. You might have done quite good in this whole trial thing. The other one, not so much. He wakes up back in the thingy. I can't remember what it's called. The trial room, I guess. Under the gate. Amelia is shaking. She's terrified. She's crying. Poor Amelia is basically... She starts shouting for Puck and father. I think at the same time, because Puck is her father, but not really. It's a little bit confusing. It'd be weird if he was. Like, how do you get half-elf from cat spirit? I'm asking the real questions here. They take her back to the house and everything just to rest because she's been through a hell of an ordeal. Otto, he's got an idea to get everyone out of the village out of the sanctuary without breaking the barrier. So his plan is just stick him in the cart and they'll lose consciousness, but we'll get them out. They'll get consciousness back another time. Basically, it's not going to work. A small pink girl shows up and she basically says, don't try it. Why does she say don't try it? First off, though, someone needs to be put in their place. Ram burns Subaru with the tea, like, psh, and he's like, what the hell, man? But then she whispers in and is like, just don't say anything Subaru-ish for about 5 minutes. And yeah, then he calls her a lolly. So she didn't get offended by it, but he definitely called her a lolly. You know, I would classify that as unnecessary. She basically explains... Her name's Ryuza, by the way. She's like the village elder, I guess. She sort of explains what happens when demi-human goes through the barrier. Basically, it separates their soul from their body. The barrier is not keeping the body in, it's keeping the soul in. So the body can go freely, pretty much, but the soul, you know, the important bit, that's the bit that they kind of need. That bit stays in sanctuaries. That's not good. And then they're like, apparently Garfield and Ryuza can't free Sanctuary because of a contract or something. Kind of, that bit was sort of glossed over. I'm assuming it's some like arbitrary, you know, this was passed down in our family for generations type deal. Which, you know, you're trying to get everyone out. I feel like you've got to kind of abandon that at that point. Maybe that's just me though. But yeah, Ryuza, she's probably going to come into play a little bit later on, considering she has an actual design. Like, that's pretty much how you can tell someone's going to be sort of important. They got a design? Probably important. Amelia wakes up later, and it's kind of nice, this scene. Subaru's right there beside her bed the whole time, because he's a great guy. At one point, for, like, comfort, she, like, grabs his hand, and it's like, oh my god, it's happening. Is it happening? It's happening, guys, and it's happening. But then, yeah, she's like, yeah, I'm going to do the test again tonight. And it's just like, Amelia, I don't think that's a wise idea, personally. Like, yeah, never give up, but you were having a bad time. Ram was listening into this and basically grabbed Subaru later on. It's like, Subaru, we need to talk. Basically, some people don't want Sanctuary to be free. Some people are perfectly happy like this, to be neats and not talk to anyone. And then she says Frederica might be involved, that she might be doing something. But then we know already Frederica was given the letter telling her what to do from Roswaal. So Roswaal's actually the mastermind? Because Roswaal ordered Frederica, who then set Subaru and that on their way. So, once again, it's Roswaal, I think. I feel like that's definitely it. Also, she basically says the quickest way for people to negate the escaping of Sanctuary is just to get rid of Amelia. So she might be in trouble from the people around here as well. Just keep an eye on. I do like how everybody pretty much trusts Subaru now, to the point was like, this guy, if Amelia's in danger, this guy is going to protect her. Like, with his life, or many lives if he has to. So he can be trusted with that. And I like that even Ram has shown him a little bit more trust. She still, like, craps on him all the time, as he often deserves. But there's trust in that crap throwing. Hey, we go to the trial again the next night. This is kind of a short section. It goes about as well as you'd expect. But we get some idle banter between the others. So Garfield, right? Garfield is flirting with Ram, and Subaru just straight up is like, bro, are you into Ram? And he's like, yeah, I guess so, bro. Like, I don't know why I added the bro, but that's just how I envision them speaking for some reason. And then he asks Garfield, what are you going to do when you get out? And he doesn't really have an idea. What about Frederica? They don't get along. He doesn't get on with Frederica, does old Garfield. For some reason, how did she get out? That's what I'm asking, because she's obviously one of them too. Or is she full human? With those teeth, there's no way she's full human. I don't believe that. But then, trial ends about as well as the last one. Amelia crying, a lot of crying. A lot of crying from old Amelia. That's, you know, that's not good. But I think they might need a plan B at this point. Roswaal calls a super secret meeting between himself, Subaru and Ram. Basically the people he trusts the most. Even Amelia's not invited for a very obvious reason, which we'll get to. But Subaru being invited is kind of weird, but we'll get to it. Basically, Subaru first gets all mad because Roswaal hid all the stuff about the witch's cult from Amelia and wasn't there to help fight and everything. But Roswaal is like, Subaru, you fulfilled that role instead. And I'm like, oh my god, Roswaal's a genius. He's an evil genius, but he's a genius nonetheless. And everything he says is completely right. Subaru tries to throw a punch at one point and Ram intercepts, obviously, because that's what she does. Subaru again, angry, accidentally mentions Rem, and she's just like, I don't know who that is. And it's like, it hurts every time. Like, it's just a dull thud in your heart. It's like, oh, but she's your sister, man. Can't be doing that. Roswaal wasn't there so he wouldn't have to confront the witch's cult. He let it happen so Amelia and Subaru, more Amelia, could claim the credit for it. And it's kind of worked because they fought the witch's cult. Amelia is more friendly with the villagers now. His plan worked. He's an asshole. However, right, He had faith Subaru would pull through, is what it says in the notes. Subaru didn't pull through. Or at least the first time Subaru didn't pull through. How many times did Subaru die before he got to the quote-unquote best ending? And I'm using quotes because of what happened to Ren and that. Yeah, Subaru got things done, but the only way Roswell's plan works is if he knows about return by death, surely. Because I want to believe Roswell's not that stupid to put all that faith in pre all the deaths Subaru, like arsehole Subaru who caused the scene at the ceremony. Because that was the last time he saw him, basically. That's the Subaru he was putting faith in. That's not the man I want doing any of that stuff. No, I'm not sure about that. Obviously they can't tell Amelia any of this because she'll feel bad or something. She can't know for the gist of it, and Subaru's like, of course I can't tell her, and he's just like, I knew you'd make a good co-conspirator. It's like, Roswell, is Roswell a baddie? I don't think he's a baddie, I think he's just very... I think there's got to be something with him knowing about return by death, because I don't want to think he's that dumb to put that faith in Subaru. No, he's got to know something. He got to know something's up. That's what's in my head now. Like, Roswell must know something. And that's a scary thought, because he's a pretty scary dude. Subaru quickly has a little conversation with Amelia. Basically says, you have to be the one to free Sanctuary, basically, so you can get the credit, is what I'm sort of inferring from that conversation. And then she calls him a jerk for being nice, basically, which is fair. Subaru believes in her and everything. We all believe in Emilia. This is a quick section, as I say. And then Subaru says, don't worry about the villagers. I got this. You just focus on the trial that's giving you nightmares every night and, pretty much torturing you. So you do that. I'm going to sort out the villagers, Amelia. Seems like a fair delegation of the roles. After a couple days of negotiations, he got it so that all the villagers can go home because, hey, Amelia's here. You don't need to keep them anymore. Makes sense. So they're allowed to go. Ram briefly talks to him about Petra a bit, and then says, Roswell said is a message. That's the word I'm looking for. Words are very difficult. Basically saying, if you can't face Frederica, if you're worried, if you're scared, whatever, go to Beatrice and then tell her, what was it exactly? Roswell said to ask the question. That's what he's got to say. So what does that mean? I don't know. Obviously I don't know. But I wonder what the question is. I don't know. It's going to be... I mean, it looks like Beatrice is going to do more, and I like that because Beatrice is cool. So I'm okay with that. Amelia comes to see him off, and it's all very nice and everything. Garfield on the road basically asks Subaru, like, Subaru, you went through a trial, didn't you? Subaru was just kind of, man, I can't do it. It has to be Amelia. And I'm just sitting there like, it's going to be Subaru. Subaru's going to do it. And Garfield says, like, he doesn't think she's going to do it because he doesn't think she wants to face her past and everything. And Subaru's like, is that really what she wants? And everything. He doesn't know. He gives Subaru another one of them pendants to show to Frederica if push comes to shove. What push comes to shove means, I have no idea. There's a bubble outside. Sorry, I got distracted by a bubble. So yeah, I don't know what that means. Frederica, I mean, they're making her out to be the true villain, but she got that note from Roswell. I almost definitely remember her saying, like, I've done what the Master ordered. Unless Roswell isn't the Master in this case. Unless someone else is pulling her strings. Which would be a scary thought. I don't want anyone... Roswell's a scary enough thought. I don't think I want anyone else pulling those strings around here. Subaru gets home to an empty mansion. And I don't know if it's the music, the lighting, or what. But you can just tell immediately, there's something off here. There's definitely something off. Something's going on. And something was going on. As I said, the mansion is completely empty. Subaru, though, starts worrying. He's like, what about Rem, though? Did they leave Rem? Can't leave Rem. So he goes running to find Rem, up many flights of stairs, across the hallway. He's very nearly to the room. He's like about that far from the room. And then he just gets sliced. And he's like, oh, that was a bit weird. What was that? Feels like, oh, that's a lot of blood. I might be dying again. Who is it that cut him up? At first I was like, who is that? At first I was like, is it Frederica? Is she bad? Was it Beatrice? Is she in a mood still and decided to cut Subaru in half? I have no idea. No, it's neither of them. It's bloody Elsa. Not like from Frozen, from the first arc, the one that was like, I'm gonna cut your flipping stomach out one day for this disrespect. So yeah, there's no Reinhard to save you this time, Subaru. So I better hope you've got a decent checkpoint because you've gone a while without one. So God, yeah, we're getting back into the meat of it. They're back into the, oh God, Subaru's dying a lot. Man, didn't expect her. As I said at the beginning, forgot she existed. And that's a worry for poor Subaru. He's in for a hell of a time. That is for sure. I'm not sure where we're going from here because there's just so many things. Like the trials are still not done. The Beatrice stuff. There's the Petra handkerchief thing. They brought it up again this episode, so I feel like it's going to come into place somehow. The Frederica stuff, as I said, the Beatrice stuff. Elsa's re-emerged. There's loads of stuff going on. There's people all over the place. I have no idea what's going to happen. It's exciting. It's exciting not knowing. I sort of feel bad for people that have read the light novels because they don't get the same excitement. They get different excitement. Like, oh, look how well it's done. But I'm just like, oh my God, what's going to happen next? Cannot wait. Anyway, let's get to my favourite part of the episode. So my favourite part of the episode, I had a bit of a fun time deciding this. I almost picked Subaru exploding at Roswell, and then Roswell making reasonable but cruel points. Like, everything he said was correct, but it was also, God, it was morally wrong, wasn't it? But yeah, it's not that, much as I almost wanted it to. It's just the end bit with the Elsa re-emergence, because I was sitting there like, who is that? What? I like craned my head, I was like, oh my God, it's her. You know, really didn't see that coming. Caught me by surprise, made me freak out, and now I've got to wait a week to see what happens next. Why can't they just Netflix it and drop everything at once? Obviously the answer is because TV schedules, I know that, but damn it, the wait's killing me. Although the wait is almost some of the best part, building up the hype for the next week's episode. It's good. Yeah, it was another good episode, You Couldn't Tell. I enjoyed it a lot. Echidna, despite only showing up for the first part, she's great. I love Echidna. I think she's the best. I think she's awesome. And then there's all the other stuff too, really good. Curious to see what Subaru deals with first. He's gonna, obviously the trial's going on. He's not got that anymore. Is he gonna deal with Elsa first? Is he gonna find Beatrice, Frederica? Where are all these people? I don't want to see dead Petra again, but knowing this show, yeah, they're probably gonna do that, aren't they? They almost definitely will, won't they? Anyway. Thank you everybody for watching this review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider subscribing and stuff for more reviews. That would help me a lot. I will see you next week for another episode of this. Take care and bye guys.